The 2026 Mercedes-Benz GLS just did something almost nobody expected. In a world where luxury SUVs are getting louder, flashier, and more aggressive, Mercedes went in the opposite direction and quietly built what might be the most complete full-size luxury SUV on the planet. And here's the crazy part. Hidden beneath the massive grille, giant screens, and Maybach-level comfort is one detail that could completely change how buyers look at the GLS forever. But don't worry, we'll get to that before the end because this SUV has a surprise most people are missing right now. At first glance, the 2026 GLS doesn't look radically different, and honestly, that's intentional. Mercedes knows the GLS already dominates the luxury family SUV market because it blends elegance with brute presence better than almost anything else. But look closer and you'll notice the sharper LED light signatures, a redesigned front fascia, smoother body lines, and an updated grille that somehow makes this thing look even more expensive. It has that rolling private jet energy. The kind of SUV that makes Range Rover owners stare for an extra second at a red light. Then you step inside, and this is where Mercedes reminds everyone why they've been kings of luxury for decades. The cabin feels less like a car and more like a first-class lounge on wheels. Massive hyperscreen-inspired displays stretch across the dashboard, ambient lighting wraps around the interior like a futuristic nightclub, and nearly every surface you touch feels hand-finished. Even the rear seats are ridiculous. Heated, ventilated, reclining, massaging. It's basically a luxury suite disguised as an SUV. But Mercedes didn't stop at comfort because the 2026 GLS is also loaded with technology that feels almost unfair. The updated MBUX system is faster, smarter, and finally less distracting to use while driving. Voice controls are more natural, augmented reality navigation is sharper, and the semi-autonomous driving system is creeping dangerously close to full self-driving territory. On long highway trips, this thing practically glides itself while isolating passengers from the outside world like noise-canceling headphones on wheels. And now comes the part that shocked a lot of enthusiasts. Despite weighing nearly 3 tons, the GLS still moves like something half its size. The standard inline-6 engine is smooth and surprisingly quick, but the real monster is the AMG GLS 63. Over 600 horsepower, launch control brutality, and enough torque to embarrass sports cars at traffic lights. This gigantic luxury tank can sprint from 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. That's supercar territory from not very long ago. And somehow it still feels calm and refined while doing it. What makes the GLS dangerous for competitors is that it doesn't force buyers to choose between luxury, performance, and practicality. Usually, you compromise somewhere. A Range Rover gives you status but questionable reliability. A BMW X7 delivers sporty handling but can feel cold inside. Cadillac Escalade screams presence but lacks European finesse. The GLS quietly combines all of them into one package, and that balance is exactly why wealthy families keep coming back to Mercedes year after year. Also, if you're enjoying this breakdown so far, hit subscribe and drop a like because the luxury SUV wars in 2026 are getting absolutely insane, and some of the upcoming models from Mercedes, BMW, and Bentley are about to change the game completely. Now let's talk about the pricing because this is where things get interesting. The standard GLS is expected to start around the 6-figure mark once options are added, and trust me, Mercedes buyers love options. By the time you spec premium leather packages, executive seating, upgraded sound systems, and AMG upgrades, you can easily push this SUV deep into exotic car money. Yet people still line up for it because the GLS sells something more valuable than horsepower. It sells effortless status. And that brings us back to the hidden detail I mentioned earlier. The real genius of the 2026 GLS isn't the power, the screens, or even the luxury. It's how unbelievably easy Mercedes made this SUV to live with every single day. Most ultra-luxury SUVs constantly remind you they're expensive. The GLS doesn't. It shrinks around the driver in traffic, rides smoother than some luxury sedans, and somehow makes massive road trips feel effortless. That's the secret. Underneath all the technology and prestige, the GLS may actually be the best daily luxury SUV ever built. And that's exactly why rivals should be nervous.